Hey everybody, How To Tech bringing you another disassembly. We have a brand new Samsung Galaxy S7. I got this phone just a couple of hours ago, and you know what we do here. We take stuff apart. So we're going to go ahead and do that to this phone. Let's talk about the tools that we need to do that with. We have an iSesmo tool. This is very helpful in taking the back off. A couple playing cards, some guitar picks to help us along the way there as well. We have a small Phillips screwdriver. This is a 000 screwdriver. We have a pair of tweezers, and then a couple pry tools to help us get into the interior portion of the phone also. We'll also be needing a heat gun. First step, go ahead and remove your micro SD card slot. And then we're going to go ahead and take the phone and we're going to heat the back up. Now you want to get this very warm. This will help you not damage or shatter the back glass. I actually broke the Note 5 when I was doing the disassembly video, and if you want to avoid shattering it, you want to get it nice and warm to the point where you really don't want to touch it anymore. So hot that it's going to almost burn you. That'll give you a nice loose adhesive to get started on. Then we can go ahead and heat it up as we go. Now this will be the long version of this video. I will make two versions, a short version and a long version. This phone has never been opened before. So this will take me some time to get into since I've never seen the insides of this phone. So if you want the short version, I'll throw that down in the description below. Go ahead and click on that. I'll make sure it's just a few minutes long. So we're going to get this really, really warm around the sides of the phone. Take us a few seconds to get there. Now, I could speed through this. You're right, I could fast forward it. But the point is to show you how long I heat it up for before I actually go ahead and start opening it. That's something that I saw in a lot of other repair videos, that it seemed like it was easier than it was, which is the whole reason why I got into this game. So, yes, I understood I can fast forward. I understand how to use the fast forward feature in my videos. If you want that shorter version, go to the description, get the short version. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get this bottom corner warmed up. We're basically going to start down here at the bottom and work our way around the sides. We're going to apply extra heat down here. It's getting pretty warm, but we still want to get it a little bit hotter. Alright, now we got it nice and warm. We're going to take our iSesmo tool. We're just going to barely put the tip in here at the bottom. Perfect. And then we're going to use a non-metallic tool to help us not damage the coloring on the back glass here. That's a problem that these phones have, where the coloring will want to come off or peel off. They haven't seen we can make them clear. So we're just going to take our playing card and slide it around. You want to be very careful around this bend down here at the corner at the bottom. I find the easiest way to do this is to pull the card out a little bit and then go around the curve and then try to get it back up in there. Now, the adhesive basically on this phone at the bottom is probably about a ½ inch up on the bottom, and then on the sides of the phone it's just right around the curve. Now, one thing I did here is I pulled my card out on accident, which means the adhesive re-adhered itself to the phone. So I'm going to heat it back up to get started. I can't even get my tool back in there with the adhesive being cool. So you want to make sure that as you do this that you keep the phone very warm to make sure you don't shatter that back glass. At this point there is no getting new glass. Now the bright side is, since we already got it nice and hot, it'll take us just a few seconds to get it back up to that temp again. Take your iSesmo tool and just tip it in there. And just no luck. Now at this point it's cooled down too far. I'm going to go ahead and reapply heat to it. Don't get impatient and think that you don't need to add heat. and break the phone. Try this again. There we go. Now it's already been opened once, so it's a little bit easier. Take our playing card and toss it in. This way, this time I will make sure that it does not get removed. We're just going to work our way around the side of the phone here. Like I was saying, the adhesive just goes around the bend on the lower portion of the phone here. We're going to stick a guitar pick down here at the bottom to make sure the phone doesn't readhere itself. Now you don't want to go too far up with the playing card past the S7 logo on the bottom of the phone here. You run the risk of hitting the charge mat, the wireless charge matting on the back of the phone. Now I'm going to apply more heat. The adhesive they use on this is different than the S6. That is a kind of a waterproofing adhesive, so it's a little bit thicker, definitely a little bit stronger. So we're going to pull the card out a little bit and just use the tip to go around the side here, making sure that we don't dip it too far in to damage that charge mat. Make sure we put another card in here. Sometimes they'll get gummed up with too much adhesive and it's hard to pull down the side. And I can tell the adhesive is getting cool again. So what we have to do is go ahead and heat the phone back up. Now right above the power button there's a thicker portion of adhesive. And I'm having a little problems with the card getting in there. So I'm pretty far up the opposite side, so what we're going to do next is actually work on the other side of the phone here. Let's get my card back up to where it was. I'm going to put another playing card down here at the bottom to help hold this open. Now we'll go ahead and heat up the opposite side of the phone. Now you're probably not going to want to leave your guitar pick in the phone with a heat gun, as they'll melt pretty quick. I would suggest just using the playing card. Same thing around the corner, just a tip around the corner. And work your way up the side of the phone. If you feel a lot of resistance, go ahead and pull backwards and then move back forward. Alright, so that side is done. Put the playing card down here to help hold the phone open. Now we'll go ahead and heat up the top portion of the phone. New playing card to work our way around the side here. You can feel it getting nice and thick right here. There's a large portion of adhesive just right here next to the camera. I don't want to pull on it too hard. I don't want to shadow the back. So we're just going to give it a lot of heat right here in this one area, and that should pop right off for us. Alright, there we go. And there we have the back cover removed off of the device. You can see the large portion of adhesive just right there. And how it was looking on the back. So just a thin portion around the sides. A little bit up the back side. Make sure my index finger's on the charge mat, so you want to make sure you don't hit that too hard. And then right here at the charge port, there's a lot more adhesive, a little bit thicker there as well. Alright, now with that removed, we can just go ahead and pull some of this residual adhesive off. The next step is to go ahead and take out all the screws holding this black framing in around the back side of the phone. So we're just going to use our 000 screwdriver and go ahead and get started on that. All of these silver screws will need to be removed. I believe there are 12 total. If they don't want to come out, you can use a pair of tweezers later to remove these out of the midframe, but I would not leave them in there as you try to pry this off, as they're easy to lose in carpet. Four more to go up here at the top. So at this point the screws are stuck in there, so I'm going to use a pair of tweezers to pull them out. Just popped one off. Luckily it landed on my pants. One up here at the top. We still have one up here in the upper right hand corner. Now with that removed, we can go ahead and start on removing this black framing around the phone to reveal the logic board. And it basically snaps in like all the remaining phones with those removable backs that you've seen before. So there's a little bit of residual adhesive down here at the bottom of the phone. And that just turned on, so let me just go ahead and power it back off real quick. Perfect, there we go. This bottom portion has the loudspeaker. This upper portion has the wireless charge mat attached to it. And these three portions make up the back portion of the phone. So you can see right down here at the bottom is the loudspeaker assembly, and then right here is the charge mat with the cable. So if you need to replace that, you just peel that plastic piece off, remove the cable, and then put the new piece on. Alright, so here is the interior portion of the phone. You can see that It's pretty similar to what we've seen for the Galaxy S6. Lots of connections and cables on the inside. So the next step was to remove the logic board. And so to do that, we have to undo all of the cable connections in here. So the wireless antenna connections here, we'll go ahead and pop those off. The home button, the power button, the display ribbon cable, the battery connection, the volume button connection, the proximity sensor, the front-facing camera, and then also the earpiece speaker here as well. Let's go ahead and pull the front-facing camera right out. And this is the earpiece speaker connection. With that done, what we need to do is make sure we remove all the cables from out on top of the logic board. So pull back the wire cable connections, the battery connection, the power button, volume button. This will kind of hold everything in place. Once you get those all pulled back, the board will go ahead and just pull right out for us. Now on the back of the board, you'll see that there is the rear-facing camera connection. This pops off just like the connections we did for the screen and the battery. Same thing, just pop this off and push your camera out and put your new camera in if you're looking to replace your camera as well. Now let's go ahead and remove the headphone jack. There's a screw holding that in place. Now to get this piece out, we're going to have to wiggle from the back side of it, kind of push against the battery frame upwards, and that'll have the headphone jack pop out for us. There's a little, looks like a grounding cable on this headphone jack, so be mindful of that when you put it back in the device. That probably needs to make contact with the frame. The next step is the battery. I'm going to use my iSesamo flat side. I'm not going to use anything sharp, although this is a metal tool. You want to make sure you don't puncture the battery in any way. So I'm not going to use any heat. We're just going to try to pull this off without it. So I'm going to get it started with this device and then use a flat pry tool. And by flat pry tool, I mean credit card or gift card are easy things to use. So mine has a lot of give on this side. It may be that yours is on the opposite side, so I'll just use the side that has the most space. So now that I've got it started, I got a little space in here. I'm going to push the card in underneath, kind of wiggle it back and forth to get that adhesive to pull up, and then apply pressure on it to help kind of spatula it out. Now they actually make battery removal tools. You can get it like iFixit, and really all they are is a piece of plastic, a wide piece of plastic. So this works just the same. So pulling up now, and the battery's coming loose. It looks like all the adhesive on this one side is done. So we can go ahead and just pull it back, and then use our hands to gently pull it away from the mid-frame of the phone here. And you can see that it has adhesive on all sides of the battery in a square all the way around, which is why it's stuck in there so well. Go ahead and pull off the remaining adhesive here. You can pull off these wire antenna connections. They're most likely going to be your Bluetooth or cellular or Wi-Fi connection. They just snap off like a button on a pair of jeans. Alright, now let's try the volume button. If you take your pair of tweezers and just push in right here on the side and then pull up, you'll see that the little bracket that its cable is attached to will pull right out for us. This power button is actually the exact same way. So just use your tweezers, put it in there, kind of pull up, and it'll pull right out for you. And you can see all it is the same power button cable we've seen on all of the other phones, iPhones, which is just a ball on top of a piece of metal that makes contact with another piece of metal, forming a circuit. That is what's on here. So nothing too crazy there. let's pull back this cable here, which looks like it's going to be the proximity sensor. It's a little adhesive underneath it. We'll go ahead and pull that back. It also has a water damage sensor on it also. For the headphone jack, we're going to push right down here in the corner. There's a little opening that'll help us get it pulled off. This has some pretty gnarly adhesive on it. It's actually looks like it's waterproof to make sure nothing gets inside of the phone. When you pull this back, I would suggest trying to keep the grommet in one piece so you can reuse it when you put the phone back together. There we have it. Now at this point, there's really nothing else to be done except for remove the vibration motor. And then after that, to get to the charge port portion of the phone, you're going to have to remove the screen. Samsung's really been into that lately, and that drives me insane. That's just, makes the phone repairability just go straight downhill. So it's a little bit different than normal. The cable actually wraps around right here, the sides of the device, around the front. So removing the display is a pretty high likelihood that you could damage it, especially if it's your first time removing it. So at this point, I'm probably going to remove the display on this particular device unless the display, I can find one where it's broken, then we can replace it. But who knows, maybe my mind will change. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching this video. As always, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace.